Hi, welcome back to Reflections, everyone, where we talk about all things Church of Christ with the Elijah message. It is wonderful to be back with you. So we've been talking about this idea that Elias and Elijah aren't the same thing. That Elias is a title and Elijah is a prophet. Now, even though this is not a part of the Elijah message tradition, it is a part of the Latter-day Saint tradition, and I am just really interested in it. And it's interesting to talk about, some of these things that are in the Latter-day Saint tradition because they're just really fascinating. So let's go some other scriptures. Last time we looked at the inspired version of the Holy Scriptures. So let's look at the Book of Commandments. This is a revelation given to Sidney Rigdon in 1830. This is section 37. Listen to the voice of the Lord your God, even Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, whose course is one eternal round, the same today as yesterday and forever. I am Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who was crucified for the sins of the world, even as many as will believe on my name, that they may become the sons of God, even one in me, as I am in the Father, as the Father is one in me, that we may be one. Behold, verily, verily, I say unto you, my servant Sidney, I have looked upon thee and thy works. I have heard thy prayers and have prepared thee for a greater work. Thou art blessed, for thou shalt do great things. Behold, thou wast sent forth, even as John, to prepare the way before me, and before Elijah, which should come, and thou knew it not. And it sounds to me like there is an Elijah still to come after Sidney Rigdon. So that's really interesting. Let's go to the Doctrine and Covenants, section 26, paragraph 2. Behold, this is wisdom in me. Wherefore marvel not. For the hour cometh that I would drink of the fruit of the vine with you on the earth, and with Moroni, whom I have sent unto you to reveal the Book of Mormon, containing the fullness of my everlasting gospel. It's really fascinating. So we call the Book of Mormon the record of the Nephites. And we believe that Nephi, not Mormon, revealed this, who appeared to Joseph Smith. So that's an interesting difference. And we're going to be talking about that a little later on. To whom I have committed the keys of the record of the stick of Ephraim, which is the record of the Nephites, and also with Elias, to whom I have committed the keys of bringing to pass the restoration of all things, or the restorer of all things, spoken by the mouth of all the holy prophets since the world began concerning the last days. And also John, son of Zacharias, which Zacharias he, Elias, visited and gave promise that he should have a son, and his name should be John, that he should be filled with the spirit of Elias. So this is fascinating because in Luke's gospel, it's the angel Gabriel who appears to Zacharias. And so Elias, visited and gave promise to Zacharias. And so the angel Gabriel is an Elias. So far we have an Elias who's John the Baptist, an Elias who's possibly Jesus in the inspired version of John. We have an Elias who is the angel Gabriel. So let's go to the Utah Doctrine and Covenants. Section 110. And this is the vision of Joseph Smith in the Kirtland Temple. This wonderful, wonderful vision. The Kirtland Temple, which was the first Latter-day Saint temple that was built, and that's in Ohio. So section 110, looking at verse 12. After this, Elias appeared and committed the dispensation of the gospel of Abraham, seeing that in us and our seed all generations after us should be blessed. So there was an Elias in the time of Abraham. And after this vision had closed, another great and glorious vision burst upon us. For Elijah the prophet, who was taken to heaven without tasting death, stood before us and said, Behold, the time hath fully come, which was spoken by the mouth of Malachi, testifying that he, Elijah, should be sent before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the children to the fathers, lest the whole earth be smitten with a curse. Therefore the keys of this dispensation are committed unto your hands, and by this ye may know that the great and dreadful day of the Lord is near, even at the door. So Elias and Elijah are not the same. Let's go to one more. Section 138. And this is given by Joseph F. Smith. And he was part of the Utah Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He was the sixth president of the church. See, he has a vision, and this is in 1918. Picking up in verse 45. Elias, who was with Moses on the Mount of Transfiguration, and that's in the inspired version of the Holy Scriptures in Mark chapter 9 that we looked at in the last video. And Malachi the prophet, who testified of the coming of Elijah, of whom also Moroni spake to the prophet Joseph Smith, declaring that he should come before the ushering in of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, were also there. The prophet Elijah was to plant in the hearts of the children the promises made to their fathers. So Elias and Elijah are not the same thing. And even if you don't believe that Joseph S. Smith was a prophet or believe in the Latter-day Saint tradition, it does say that at least by 1918 that this understanding of Elias and Elijah was already pretty set in the Latter-day Saint tradition. Again, even though it's not part of the Elijah message tradition, but it is just really interesting. And I love spending time talking with you, reflecting with you, thinking about these things. My brothers and sisters, it has been wonderful to spend this time with you, to reflect with you on reflections. Until next time, I invite you into the Elijah Message House.